So either you can be tested on these parameters in one interview, or there can be multiple interviews. When you go for a job interview, you have to face multiple interviews to check all these parameters, because the experts are in various domains, so they take interviews in phases. But normally for B school, the interview will be of one round. So technical interview, supposing you are a BTech graduate, or so can I have your background? What stream have you done graduation in, Rohit? And Arun, Arvind, your graduation stream, if you are a BTech or you are a commerce graduate, please confirm. Rohit, without okay, so Rohit says electrical and electronics, BTech. Okay, Arun, Arvind says audible, working. Okay, okay, Rohit is working. Fine. So see, if you are working, expect questions from your work areas. But again, you should have technical know-how. Whatever job you are doing, you should know the nitty-gritties. So you be prepared for questions on technicals, because that gives an insight to the panel that you are somebody who takes your job seriously. So as Rohit has mentioned that he is an electrical and electronics engineer. And Rohit, where are you working? Which company? So if your interview is to revolve Triune Energy Services, fine. So you should have the basic knowledge of what all technology you are using. Okay. If supposing you are asked to present your work profile to a layman, you should be prepared on that. So there are certain questions which are called hygiene questions, which will definitely come in your interview. So 70% of the questions will be known to you beforehand. So you need to prepare for your interview. Okay. So Rohit says he has arranged for the microphone. Great, Rohit. So what I'll do is I'll conduct the interview. I'll tell you the do's and don'ts in the first half an hour, and then take your interview in the second half. Okay. So these three things are very important. Technical. So whatever job you are doing right now in the past 2 years, you should have know-how about it. Just Google it out. In case you're not aware, ask your seniors. So the nitty-gritties of your profile you should know. Okay. Secondly, management review. So management review is basically done to test your skills on management. So if you have any extracurricular activities, if you have participated in any event, if you have organized any event, so you should mention that in your CV, and you should be prepared to answer questions on that. And then human resource. Human resource, why? Human resource, because wherever you do, whatever you do, you need to work in a team, right? So without working in a team, you cannot accomplish anything tangible. So you will be tested on your team teamwork skills, and you need to showcase that as well, that you have worked in a team and you have achieved so and so results, and you have achieved success, if at all. Okay. So be prepared on these three parameters. Management review would be basically to test what all organization skills you have, what all have you learned, and what all have you practiced. Okay. Now the interview panel seeks to know certain things. See, when you're going for an interview, you should know that what all they are planning to ask you. Okay. If you don't know that beforehand, your preparation will be only half done. So what impresses the panel the most? First is whether you are a team player or not. As I have mentioned earlier, you have to showcase somewhere in your answers that you are a team player. There are many individual brilliant stars, but that does not help. Be it sports, be it theater, be it corporate sector, be it NGO, be it a political party, whatever. You see, anything remarkable, be it our military, navy, army, every place in your life, or at every juncture, you will have to work in a team. So you have to be a team player first. That is the foremost requirement. Once you are a team player, you can be a leader as well, right? So you have to showcase in your interview, in your answer, that you are a good team player. you have to showcase through some examples. And at the same time, if you have led a team, brilliant. Okay, so leadership skills also should come out. So since you guys are not in Delhi, I think Rohit is in Delhi. So Rohit, you should meet me, and we'll discuss what all answers have you framed so far and what all you should say. So these two parameters should come in your about yourself answer, so that questions are asked in this and you are able to answer. Okay. So first team player, then leadership skills. You should show that. Then they check your presentation skills, because in today's world you have to communicate. So your body language, your gestures, your hand movement, and most importantly, what you are telling and how you are telling it. Right? You don't need to be very verbose. At the same time, you don't need to be very limited to in your words, so that your the expression which you want to say is not communicated effectively. Okay, so the right mix of words, you should not repeat what you want to say. Many a times people keep on repeating the same thing, so that should not be done. So 70% of the interview can be prepared, can be planned, and this can happen only when you know what all questions can come, what the panel is looking at, and then you communicate that. Okay, so the first three parameters I have told you: team player, leadership skills, presentation skills. Then your assimilating skills. What is the meaning of assimilating skills? Can someone tell me? Rohit, or can you take a wild guess? What does assimilating skill means and why it is important? Just give me a throw me a wild guess. Rohit, Arjun, Arvind, anything you want to mention? Okay, so Arun Arvind says to understand things. Okay, nice, yeah. So Rohit says brief about what your skills are. Fine. Yeah, so you are right to a certain point. Assimilating skills means, see, when you have a task or a project at your hand, you will need some resources, right? So how can you gather resources and accumulate them, and then understand the relationship of these resources and plan according, because see, resources will never be sufficient. If you have enough resources, you can always do whatever you want, right? But there will always be a paucity of time, a paucity of space, maybe a paucity of finances, right? So whatever resources you have to act very smartly and manage it accordingly, so that you get the desired work done. So assimilating skills are these. So when you perform under constraints, you are a good performer, right? So assimilating skills also needs to be showcased to the panel. Okay, credentials. What credentials you have? What skills do you possess? Where all you have achieved certain things, that needs to be showcased, either in your CV or in your interview. Okay, your attitude is the most important thing, because there are many people uh, who might not know, but by their answers, by their communication, they might showcase some negative side to their personality. For example, if I ask you that if I ask you what is wrong with the political system in India, okay, if I ask you a negative question, or if I ask you what is wrong with the education system in India, you can have two views to it. There are definitely certain wrongs which you need to showcase, which you need to tell. At the same time, you should add to it what do you think can be done to make it positive, or to make things improve. Okay, so if I ask you what is wrong with the political system in India, and you say that the politicians harp around caste, creed, and all, demography, divide people, and so, and you end there, that will not be a right attitude. You should also tell your views, what you think should be done to make things positive, or what your understanding is about it. So you should give a positive angle to everything. So this is when you are asked the negative questions. Many people have, because of the society, because of their upbringing or their personality or whatever, they tend to talk about negative things. I don't know. I mean, there are certain reasons which they know best, but if you have that kind of a personality, that should not be visible, and you should remove that. So supposing I am asking about your weakness, okay, so you should not keep on talking about your weakness, or if there's a neutral question, where do you see yourself, or what is uh, what is your aim in life. So nowhere any negative angle should be. Some people start with negatives, that okay, till now I have not done well, or till now I didn't had the support. So that should not be there. Many a times the panel will throw questions which are negative and try to see your reaction. In that case, you have to be very, very careful in the choice of your words and come out with positive signs to it. Okay, positive messages. And by default, none of your answers should have any negative connotation to it. I hope I have made this point clear. So attitude is, you should have a positive, bright attitude, always good. There will be controversial questions based on ISIS, based on corruption, based on political parties, your inclination. You have to give a balanced view, because, as well known, there's no there are pros and cons to everything, and there's nothing right or wrong. It's just your view. So you have to give a balanced view. Even for a very negative or very brutal topic as ISIS, there can be certain things which you can talk about, a positive ways to improve it. Okay, your thought process also will be checked. So they might give you certain cases wherein you will need to think and give answers. Okay, so this will be basically to test your on the feet thinking, so be prepared for that as well. Okay, thought process is checked by something called guesstimate. So once we end the interview today, try to Google guesstimate. I think you must be aware about guesstimate by now, since you are preparing. But then, so there are questions like, try to find. You will be asked to give you an approach to find out the number of traffic lights in Delhi, or the population of Mumbai, or the number of post offices in Kolkata. Okay, so these questions don't need any. They don't want to test your knowledge, that whether you know this or not. They just want to see what approach you are taking to find out the given find out the solution to the given problem. Okay, so you need to prepare accordingly. So Google guesstimate, guess, guesstimate. It is guess plus estimate. So Google that. There will be a lot of case studies there. Try to read that. So these days, it is a normal, trend that most of the B schools are putting at least one guesstimate question. Okay, so now these are certain questions which definitely come in an interview. So you should note this down and prepare accordingly. Once we take your interview, we will definitely discuss this about yourself. It should be very, very well prepared, so that you should create enough traps in these answers, so that you can handle the you can give enough reasons to the panel to ask questions from this about yourself. And wherever you are laying a trap for the panel, be prepared to answer that. Your every answer should have at least two examples. Okay, be prepared with, when you say that you are a hardworking guy, or when you say you are a responsible person, be prepared to answer and give examples to all your statements, and not one but two, because at times when you say give one example, they might say, okay, give me another example. Okay, so you should be prepared with that as well. Strength, weakness, tell me about your something you did or failed. Why I am Ahmedabad, why I am Bangalore, why not other college. Okay, why should we take you? It will not be why should we hire you, why should we take you. Short term goals are basically 5 years. Long term goals are 10 years or 20 years. So all these answers should be well thought of, well rehearsed. You can discuss with us. Okay, please give your inputs. If you need some question, if you have some questions, or if you have some feedback, you can always share it with me in the chat panel. So note these questions. Why do you want to join this college? What was the toughest decision you ever had to take? Okay. Who has inspired you in your life and why? Okay. So these questions out of these 8 10 questions, be prepared to get at least 5 to 7 questions here. Okay. Okay, so Rohit is asking how to answer goals part. Rohit, I'll definitely share this with you. Let me complete this PPT because this theory portion is important. Once I am done with this, I'll get back to your questions. Okay. So there are certain general tips from my side. You need to find out what people want, then show them how you can help them get it. This is the basic principle of to crack any interview. So uh, what a company panel might want will be different from what a college might want. What does a college want? Can you give me a rough idea? Yeah, Arun, I'll take personal questions. I'll definitely take these questions. Let me finish with this. Okay. So what the panel I have told you what the panel is looking at. The panel is looking at certain things which I had mentioned in the first slide. Okay. So and apart from that, they also look at diversity in the batch. So you should have certain things which you will add to the batch. Okay. Your peers should learn from you. So you need to showcase those skills as well, wherein you can add value to the batch, and at the same time they should see enough spark in you that when you become an alumni of that college, you will make the college proud of you. Okay. Yes, true, Rohit. So you need to turn your weaknesses into strength. That's very important. If you are asked about your weakness, you should tell that. Supposing you are saying that you are not a proper you don't manage your time properly, so you should tell them at the same time what all you are doing to improve that weakness of yours. Okay. You should think before you answer any question which you think is something which you are not prepared, or which has come out of the you know which you are not very sure of. You should take a pause, collect your thoughts. Okay. And then give an answer. You can always ask for 2 minutes from the panel. They will definitely give you that, and then you can answer that question. Okay. You should be honest always. Mark this. You should be honest in all your answers. Never lie, because the panel is very very smart. They will catch you by the blink of your eye, by your hand movement, by your body gestures, in case you are not communicating what is correct. So you have to be prepared for that. You should keep an interview diary. This is something which I tell all students who meet me. You should have a diary which is you should name as interview diary, because the preparation which you are doing today will also help you when you go for your summers in the B school and for the final placements. Okay. So you should keep a diary, put all the questions which you can think of, write model answers, or jot down the points which you are going to tell in about yourself. Keep on adding examples, keep on improving your answers with better words, better content. Okay. So this interview diary will you should keep till your B school, and even after that, once you go take a job and then you plan to switch your jobs. Okay. So this will definitely help you in the long run. You have to be upbeat and positive, never be negative. You have to rehearse your answers and time them. Never talk for more than 2 minutes straight until and unless asked. You don't need to memorize answers word by word. You need to look your best. Very, very important. First impression is the last impression. You know it well, right? So you have to look your best. You need to dress well. You have 1 week, 10 days, 15 days. Start exercising, because a fit body gives a very, very good impression. Whatever you wear will look good. So, in case any of you is obese or lean, try to get a good posture in time. Okay. If you are weak in English, if you stammer, speak before mirror, listen to English news, read newspapers. Okay, these three tips will definitely help you in improving your English because your communication has to be good for sure. Some more tips. You should give at least 5 interviews and take 3 interviews. Why? Because when you give interviews, you know that this error has been done in this interview. The interviewer will give you feedback. In the next interview, you'll remove them. So this is minimum 5 interviews. So after every interview, you will come out as a better person, as a person who has better answers. Okay. So in these 5 interviews, you will remove at least 20 errors which you might do on the D-Day. So a proper structured 5 interviews is required. You should also take 3 interviews. Why? Because once you sit on the other side of the table, you know what all errors your the other person is doing, and then you will not do it in your interview. And this will also help in practicing. Okay, so uh, make a group of your friends and take interviews of your friends. Ask them to take your interviews. You give them your interviews. Take their interviews. This will but this should be properly structured and it should give a feeling of uh, uh, it should be done in a proper setup. Okay, GD with friends on relevant topics, inspirational quotes. Yeah, inspirational quotes is something which you should read. Okay, because at certain points you might you get a question that what inspires you. So if you have prepared something well and good, or you can say that I keep on reading quotes and they motivate me. They might ask what is the most inspirational quote you have read in the recent past. You should come up with that. So that creates a bit of positivity in the interview. Okay, think deeply about your past achievements, whether it was done in class 12, 10, or graduation. Many a times people skip or miss that, so that should not be done. Okay, certain do's in GDPI. So be yourself. Obviously, you have to be yourself. You have to be truthful. You have to organize your thoughts. Any question which you are not prepared or which you feel that you need time, seek 2 minutes, think, gather your thoughts, and see. Whenever you get a question, you should not look beyond 2 3 points. Supposing I give you a question that let's suppose you are made the Prime Minister of India. What all actions will you take to curb the population problem or to curb the rising prices economy or to handle the black money? So you should not think that you need to get 5 or 10 points. 2 or 3 would be sufficient. Okay, hard hitting 2 points, good enough. So keep this in mind. If you are getting a question which you are not prepared, just think of any 2 points and answer that. It won't, the interview is not a knowledge test. It is a personality test. So you are basically tested on how you react to known situations and unknown situations. Okay. There is also something called as stress interview. So if in case you are asked a question, supposing I am asking you a question on something which you are not familiar, say the China, the uh, the domestic problems of China, supposing a problem of malnutrition in China in one of the cities, you might not be aware, you might not have heard, you might not have read about it. Okay, so in that scenario, you can either simply say that I am not aware of it, or you can take a wild guess if asked. Okay, supposing they say, okay, take a wild guess. What can be the problem that is leading to malnutrition in Beijing? Okay, so there you can take a wild guess, and if they dive deep into it, you don't know an answer to a particular question, and further the panel is trying to probe into the same question. You should be aware that this is going to be a stress interview now, or they are trying to check how I react in unfamiliar conditions. So they might, joke, they might pass a comment on you that you are not aware China is the leading competitor of India and you're not aware about China. So this is not good, and you should be prepared and you should know this. This is important. You should keep yourself calm and composed, a smile on your face, and you should handle these questions very, very calmly. You should not panic. You should not feel that you will be rejected because you don't know the answer. You should not feel. Just a second. Sorry. So you should be aware that this is going to be a stress interview, and you will be probed, and you will be asked questions on something which you don't know. So that's completely fine. It is not a test of knowledge. It is a test of personality. You have to show that you are calm, composed. You can handle situation well. You can handle criticism. Okay. So be prepared on that. Strategies for making an entry. So this is for GD. So since most of the colleges have done away with GD, so you can ignore this or see. In case you are going for a GD, this tip is important. How do you enter a GD when somebody is speaking? So when someone starts a GD or someone is talking on the GD, you should basically look at the flow of content. After say 60 seconds or 90 seconds, the content which the person is going to speak tries to end. It ends. So the pitch of the voice will drop after say 1 minute or 90 seconds. So you should try and catch the point from there. And whenever you are cutting someone's point or extending a point or you are trying to enter a GD, you should start by agreeing to the person and not by disagreeing. Whatever he might have said in the last 1 minute or 90 seconds, you might disagree to all of it, okay? But you have, because if you say that, no, no, I feel this is wrong, and so he will not let you speak. He will try to be assertive and speak on his points, okay, on his or her point. But when you say that, okay, adding to what my friend has said, I would like to say this, and I agree on these and I don't agree on these. That's perfectly fine. But when the pitch is dropping, you have to catch it then and there, agree on certain points where you feel you agree, and take it ahead from there. So nobody else will interrupt, first of all, because you have pegged it. And the person who was speaking will also not restrict you because you are carrying forward his point. Okay. So this is one of the strategy for making an entry. In case of doubt regarding a topic or regarding a point made by a colleague, please clarify. Don't ever talk on something which you are uncertain. Mostly at most of the times, and I have seen that, I've experienced that people are not, because sometimes the GD topic might be, might not convey the meaning very clearly, or you might not know the meaning of one word maybe. So please be very confident in asking what does that word mean, or if a friend of yours in the GD or a colleague of yours is making a point and you're not clear, you can clarify. Okay, but don't talk about something which you are of which you are not sure. You should try to open or close the GD. That's important. Your body language is very important. It should be positive. It should be friendly. You should not use too much of hand movements. You should not point fingers. Choice of words should be apt, appropriate. You should not use any controversial word or any derogatory word. Okay. Language skills, yes, important. You have to be assertive but not dominating. There's a difference between being assertive and dominating, right? So be sure that you are assertive, at the same time you're not dominating. Be polite, use please, sorry, and thank you as much as you can, because this will give a good glimpse to your personality, give others a chance to speak, be alert, and attentively listen to others. Okay. Don'ts in GDPI. So those were the do's in GDPI. Some don'ts. You should not memorize your answers. You should not fake an answer. You should not fake an example. You should not be unethical. You should not hog limelight too often, especially in GD. You should not get into arguments with the panelist or any of your friends in GD. No pointing fingers. No restlessness. You should be calm, composed. Too much of gestures should be avoided. Okay. Certain important points. See, the only difference between most of the GDs and GDs connected by the IMs after CAT or other top B schools is the intensity of the competition. Okay, the IMs you will face your friends who will be well prepared. So the GD will be tough. They will have enough content. So you should prepare accordingly. Okay, you have to be as not natural as possible. A group discussion is your chance to be more vocal. Okay, the evaluator wants to hear you speak. Take time to organize yourself. It's the repetition of the same thing which I have told you. Elaborated here a bit. Seek clarifications. Don't start speaking until you have clearly understood. Okay. You can read this. You can work out various strategies to help you make an entry, initiate the discussion. Opening the discussion is not the only way of gaining attention and recognition. If you do not give valuable insight, all your efforts of initiating will go in vain. Your body language says a lot about you. Gestures, mannerisms are more likely to reflect your attitude. Language skills are important, assertive. So this is a gist of what all I have talked till now. Always be polite. Okay. Try to avoid using extreme phrases like I strongly object or I disagree. Instead, try phrases like I would like to share my views on, or one difference between your point and mine is this, or I beg to differ. So you should politely uh, talk or rebut a point made by your friend in a GD. Brush up on your leadership skills, motivate others to speak. If you have a group of friends, you can have mock group GDs. So just to end the slide and this presentation, apart from the above points, the panel will also judge you on your alertness, presence of mind, problem solving abilities, ability to work in a team without alienating certain members, and creativity. So you should ensure that by your answers, by your actions, you should. Okay, so you should ensure that all these 4 5 parameters which the panel is looking at, you should showcase in your personality and in your answers. Last but not least, don't be disheartened if you did not do well in your first group discussion. The best possible preparation for a GD is to learn from your past mistakes. Same applies for the interviews. So you'll have enough interviews. Now I'll take questions. Any questions you might have? A couple of questions which you have raised earlier, I'll just answer them. So Arun Arvind had asked that in one interview note shared with me by Minakshi ma'am, I saw that to a student attending IM Cozy Code interview, what he will do if he gets IMA, how to answer such question. See, these questions are very very subjective and the answers might vary a lot. So you have to pick and choose what suits you best. So if this question is asked, if I am given this question, I'll say I'll definitely go for IMA because the college is, I mean, the college is, the brand is high and I have always aspired to be in IMA. to study from the best B school in India. So I am cozy cold will not mind that. The panel will not mind that because that is a truthful answer. So, but when you say this, you have to back up with certain fact because certain facts, and you have to be very very polite. Okay, so you can say that I'm appearing in all the interviews which I have been called for, but if I convert IMA, I'll join IMA because of these factors. And the factors are the college is esteemed, the I'll get a good peer group. No doubt, I am Kozhikode will also offer me the same. But I have always dreamt of from my childhood of after in my graduation, I had thought that I'll go for IMA. I'll do my MBA from IMA, so I'll take that. Okay. Is this answer good enough, Arun Arvind? Any more point on this? Fine. So there was one question raised by Rohit. I'll answer that as well. Rohit says that what to answer in goals. See, when questions like these come, what are your goals in your life, or where do you see yourself 5 years down the line? So there are two answers basically. 5 years is a short-term goal. 10 years or 20 years is a long-term goal. So by now you must have thought about what you want to do with your life. If not, think as of now. See, also goals keep on changing. So today, if you plan that you want to be you want to be an entrepreneur, or you want to rise in the career ladder and gain the highest position possible in a company, so it might change after say 3 years or 5 years. But the panel wants to know that what have you thought of as of now. There should be some plan, because when you will have a goal, then only you will have an action plan to achieve it. Without a goal you cannot achieve it, right? So 5 years you can talk about that I want to be recognized as a person who gives his best to whatever task he gets. At the same time, I wish to be my department head. If I join marketing, I want to be the marketing head of the company. So 5 years, if you do MBA from a good B school, you can land up in the top position in your department. Okay, so at least you can strive for that. And in 20 years time, you can always say that I want to set up my own venture in this field, in that field. So these answers also vary from uh, which interview you are giving. Supposing you are giving an interview in your college, so entrepreneurship is a very very good reason. But then, what have you thought of? Which sector are you going to start your company in? Should also be prepared. But when you are going for say placements, and you say that entrepreneurship is your aim and you want to start early, say after 2 years, 3 years, the company might reject you. So when you go for a company, you have to talk about how you can take that company to heights by your by aligning with the goals of the company. Okay, so the goals I have told you: 5 years, 20 years. 20 years you can talk about in a B school, you can talk about entrepreneurship, you can talk about rising up the career ladder, heading a company, or anything which might interest you. Okay, then there's one more question from Rohit. When we join it is yeah, so uh, what you are going to contribute to the college, you should think about that as well. Okay, and when the interview ends, normally the panel asks you to if you have some questions from them, so you should be prepared to answer that. Okay, and you should research well on the college. You go to the site, talk to some of the seniors, see what the latest development is, what is the future plan. Every college has a vision plan. Try to read that. They might be trying to achieve something. You can talk about student exchange programs, you can talk about their cultural festival, their business festival, but you should definitely put one question before the panel. This will help you in creating impact. Lots of students don't put up a question, but when you research well, you will definitely have answers. Okay, you will definitely have questions wherein you can ask the panel. Okay, so I hope I am clear on this. Any further questions? Please let me know. Rohit, since you will be coming to the center today or tomorrow, I guess, right? I had a word with my team and they informed me that you will be coming to the center. So whenever you come, I'll take an interview face to face because interview on this is for people who cannot come to the center. Let's give that opportunity to others. And because once you come face to face, I'll be able to give you more insights and more, feedback on your personality, on your how you are speaking, and all those things. So let's do it in the center today or tomorrow, whenever you are coming. Arun Arvind, please arrange for a mic tomorrow. Tomorrow again we have the session from 3. So I'll start with the interview right away and we'll discuss. If you have any further questions, you can ask me. You can give your feedbacks, how you like the session, did it add value? If you have some suggestions, I'll be definitely will incorporate them in the session tomorrow. Okay. Feedback, guys. Feedbacks are very important, positive or negative. It helps us to improve. So please give your feedback here in the chat box. Okay, Arvind says it was quite informative. Thanks, Arun. Rohit, what are your views? Did you find it informative? Did you find it good enough? Worth your time? Fine. So, Rohit, I'll take your interview in the session here today or tomorrow, whenever you come. And Rohit says gained insights. Thanks, Rohit. So, we'll have your interview here, and Arun, I'll take your interview tomorrow. Okay. Meanwhile, you can take my number 8376 996801. You can keep in touch with me on WhatsApp. You can call me whenever you have some question, some doubt. I'll help you. I'll take you through the interview. I myself am a pass out of NITI Mumbai. You must be aware about that. And I have the number is 83676. I'll just type here 996801. My number is there on the website as well. 8376 6801. So you can contact me on WhatsApp and I have taken a lot of interviews in the past 5 years of the students here who come to us. I have also taken interviews in my college in NITI. So anything related to this, I normally handle marketing and other things in Mindworks. I come into picture only at the interview stage, but then you are most welcome to disturb me whenever you have any questions. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time. Let's meet tomorrow. Okay. Bye. Take care.